Okay, we're going to try to do this in under 15 minutes. There's going to be two parts. The first part is for everyone. The second part is for people who want a little explanation. So we're starting by calling this Special Magic Happy Riddle, which I am contractually obligated to say in a funny way. And we're going to be like, ooh. What are two numbers whose sum is 15 and whose product is 54? Okay, think about it. Give me two numbers whose sum is 15 and whose product is 54. If you guessed 6 and 9, you win! Hooray! Yay! Okay, so give me two numbers whose sum is -10 and whose product is 24. Pause the video if you want to think about it. If you guessed -4 and -6, you are so correct. Yay! Right? Because they had to both be negative numbers to multiply to a positive, but to add to a negative. So awesome. Now, one more. Give me two numbers who add to 1. By the way, we're only working with integers. But their product is -72. They obviously have to be one positive number and one negative number because they're going to multiply to a negative number. If you guessed +9 and -8, you win! Yay! So, remember, we've spent the last few days multiplying polynomials, right? So let's multiply. X plus 6 times x plus 9. Now, what we've discovered when we multiply two binomials is when we FOIL, we get 4 terms. Firsts, outers, inners, and lasts, right? But they simplify to 3 terms, or in one very special case, 2 terms, right? So F is going to be x squared. And wouldn't you know that L is going to be the product of the two numbers, right? L is always the product of the lasts, right? So L is the product of 6 and 9. And funny thing is that the coefficient of the middle term, not the middle term itself, obviously, because it has an x, but the coefficient of the middle term is the sum of, oops, I didn't write the x, bad, the sum of 6 and 9. Okay, so when we FOIL, we have a first term. That's usually not exciting, although we'll kick it up a notch very soon. We've got a last term that is the product of the two unique numbers at the ends of the binomial, the last terms of the binomials. And then we've got a middle term that is the sum of the two outer and inner terms. Okay, and it's the sum of those two last numbers times x. Okay, so that tells you a lot of what you need to know. So we've already learned GCF factoring. We're going to learn lots of different types of factoring. There'll be a factoring checklist. It's going to be fantastic. So when we do simple FOIL factoring, I'm going to put up a different version of these notes tomorrow. The answer looks like this. So when we did GCF factoring, the answers look different, and we're going to learn how to put all the different kinds of factoring together with our factoring checklist. But a simple FOIL factoring answer always looks like that, okay? It's got plain X's. If it doesn't have plain X's, it isn't simple. It's a different kind, and we'll learn that later, okay? And what we do is we play Special Magic Happy Riddle. Copyright Mr. Silverman. I don't know, 2016. Special Magic Happy Riddle to fill in the blanks, okay? So if you're good at guessing, some of you are, and I said in the word problems unit, guessing's the only help you to a point. But in this unit, being good at guessing is actually a really great, fun, helpful thing that's going to be super fantastico for you. Okay, so let's do some examples. We'll do a few examples, and then what will happen is I'll have extra examples for anyone who wants them. If you've downloaded the sheet, you will see that there is an extra page of classwork that I'm going to do with you guys at the end for those who need more examples, but that'll be optional. Okay, so here we go. We have a polynomial, a trinomial, x squared minus 10x plus 24. It's a trinomial. It looks like what we got when we FOILed two binomials, okay? So the rule with simple FOIL factoring is the first two pieces have to be x's, right? That's the only thing that x squared could be, we could get x squared. So x and x, fine. Now, because it multiplies to 24, we either need two positive numbers or two negative numbers, right? But the sum is negative. So since we need something that sums to a negative number, we need two negative numbers. So if you remember this from our Special Magic Happy Riddle, that means we do x minus 6 and x minus 4. And if you FOIL that back out, you will get your final answer. So let's check by FOILing. And you are not going to do this every time, but you definitely have to be able to, okay? Firsts, outers, inners, lasts. Okay? And then we combine our like terms, FOIL, and we get x squared minus 10x minus 24 plus 24. Be so careful. This is like the land of careless errors. Okay, hooray. So when we checked it, we got what we wanted. So that's a good news for the Jews. So now let's imagine we have, why can't I change the color? G squared plus G minus 72. Now, these multiply to negative 72. So it has to be 1 plus and 1 minus. Okay? Now, what's the coefficient on that G? That middle term there. It's a 1. Okay? Remember that. So, we definitely have to start with plain G's here, because G times G is G squared. Right? That's the only option here. It's simple FOIL factoring. Okay? We know that we need 1 plus and 1 minus to get there. So our Special Magic Happy Riddle is that the two numbers that add to positive 1 and multiply to negative 72 are positive 9, like we saw in our earlier example, and negative 8. Okay? And if we checked by FOILing, which you guys must be able to do, it's very possible that on some Open Notes quiz I might ask you to check. G squared is firsts, outers is negative 8G, inners is plus 9G, and last is negative 72. And then we combine our like terms and we get G squared plus 1G minus 72. Hooray! We win! Okay. Two more examples we haven't seen yet, and then we'll move into the optional part of the video. Okay. So x squared minus 2x minus 63. 63. We need two numbers that multiply to negative 63 that add to negative 2. Add to negative 2. Pause it if you want to think about it before I say the answer. So they add to negative 2. They multiply to 63. I'll put an X here. I'll put an X here. Think about it, think about it, think about it, think about it, think about it. Okay. Well, 9 and 7 multiply to positive 63. Okay, but we have to add to negative 2. So negative 9 and positive 7 add to negative 2. Okay? And I'm not going to check it, but I am going to ask you one question. What if you wrote this? Would it be okay? Of course it would be okay, because just like 2 times 3 is the same as 3 times 2, x minus 9 times x plus 7 is the same as x plus 7 times x minus 9. The order of the factors does not change the product. Okay, last example, last mandatory example. H squared minus 17h plus 30. So I need, special magic happy riddle, two numbers that multiply to positive 30, either both positive or both negative, and add to negative 17. So since that's negative, obviously, I need two negative numbers. Here's an H. Here's an H. Pause the video if you need to. Up, it's negative 2 and negative 15. Negative 2 times negative 15 is positive 30. And if we FOIL it out and check it, we're good. Okay, so this is the end of the mandatory video. There will be an open notes quiz at the beginning of tomorrow's class. But if you want more assistance, I will walk through the answers to the classwork handout now. The second page of the handout, the one that says homework on it, is homework. Give it a try. Thanks. Okay, for those of you who are still with me, let's just do a couple of these. Okay, so we need, on our first example, we need two numbers that multiply to 36 and add to 13. Now, conveniently, they've given us the first number. So that's going to be W plus 4, and 4 times what is 36? W plus 9. Okay, let's go to number 6. Here, we need two numbers that multiply to 65 and add to 18. Why? Sorry, you're going to listen to me sing. The answer is, well, what are the factors? Could it be 13 and 5? It could be. And since they're all positive signs, it's all positive. Okay, we need two numbers that multiply to 32 and add to negative 12. Okay, they're 12 apart on the number line. Okay, and since that's a plus, we know that we got to have two minuses in here because a plus and a minus would give us last. That was negative. So 32 is 8 times 4, and negative 8 plus negative 4 equals negative 12. G! Okay, so G squared, we need two numbers that add to 45, multiply to negative 14. You guessed it, it's negative 9 and negative 5. Okay, we need two numbers that add to negative 17 and multiply to 60. I think this is the exact same as the one we just did, so we're going to skip it. Okay, we need two numbers that multiply to 42 and add to negative 13. We're going to have Q minus 6 and Q minus 7. Okay, two numbers that add to negative 9 and multiply to 8. This is actually one of those ones that trips people up, because guess what it is? It's negative 1 and negative 8. Booyah! That's amazing. Okay, and this one's pretty straightforward. Two numbers that add to negative 9 and multiply to 20. So that's going to be R minus 4 and R minus 5. Okay, so your homework is down here. Okay, you got 6 that are like, a little guided. And then there are 6 that are not a little guided. Give it a try. Have a great day. Bye-bye.